everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Judgment Day, Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. This is the new event from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team, then we'll get into this issue. So this book is written by Kieron Gillen with art by Valerio Schiti, Marte Gracia on colors, and Clayton Cowles on letters. Beautiful cover by Mark Brooks and Sabine Rich, and plenty of beautiful variant covers that we'll see some at the end of the issue. So let's take a look at this actually. The Eternals were created by space alien gods known as the Celestials to protect the Earth. The Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes, are currently headquarters in the body of a dead Celestial. One of the Eternals' chief directives is to correct deviation. Druig, the current Prime Eternal, recently determined that Earth's mutants, with their ability to resurrect themselves, represent excess deviation, and therefore has set out to destroy them all. Two of the Eternals, A.X.E and Makari, secretly abducted the mutant geneticist Mr. Sinister from the mutants island nation of Krakoa. There's plenty of going on. So let's talk a little bit about that before we get into the actual book. So in the Eternal series, we know that if you haven't been reading that, go check that out. It's really, really good. But at least go check out the Eve of Judgment one shot that really kind of brings you up to speed in everything that's going on. As we know, the Eternals, they are there to correct excess deviant excess deviations, right? From the deviants. We also know, if you go back to take a look at your Marvel history, that mutants they come from the deviants. Their mutation is considered deviants, but it hasn't been until this point that it has come to light that the X-Men have found immortality with the resurrection protocols, that the Eternals have deemed them an excess deviation that needs to be corrected. You can kind of see all that stuff through the pages of a lot of these books. If you've been reading, I would recommend you read the X-Men book, Immortal X-Men, that's also written by Kieron Gillen, and then also the Eternals series, 12 issues plus a couple of one-shots. Really, really fun stuff. But in this issue, the opening gambit of this event, in the land of the righteous, the X-Men claim they are the planet's new gods. The Eternals know that position's already filled. The Avengers are about to realize exactly how many secrets their so-called friends have kept from them. Years of tension lead to a volcanic eruption as the two worlds burn. Who has leaked the X-Men secrets to their latest foes? Why is Tony Stark abducting an old friend? And who stands in judgment over the whole world? Judgment Day from Kieron Gillen and Valerio Schiti is the apocalyptic emotional event to define the summer. So many things happening. And then let's take a look at the players real quick, because I think that'll help you also get through this book. So we have the Avengers, Captain America, Echo, who is currently wielding the Phoenix Force, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and Thor. On the X-Men side, we have Cable, Cyclops, Destiny. She's a precog. She can kind of tell everything that's about to happen. Exodus, Egg, Mystique, Hope Summers, Jean Grey, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Professor X, Storm, and Wolverine. And on the Eternals, we have Ajax, Druig, who is the current Prime Eternal and leading all this stuff. Jack of Knives, who's one of the ones you don't see much, especially because he wasn't in the movie. Makari, Cersei, and Uranus, who is Thanos' grandfather, and just one of the most powerful beings in Eternals history. We also have this narrator. Usually in the Eternals book, the narrator comes from the Machine. The Machine is planet Earth. That's the machine that keeps the Eternals in their resurrection cycle. So as you can tell, I've spent about 4 minutes trying to set up this book. The book is really good, but it does require a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of reading. This is not something that I would give to a new reader, because this is a big event that's been building up for a while, and it's fun, and it's full of like that comic book good stuff that I love. But it's definitely something that you need a little bit of input. That's why I wanted to, before we went into look at some of the art and everything, I want to just lay out that foundation. But overall, like if you're caught up with all these things, I'm sure you're excited about this book. It is Very, very good. So let's take a look at some of the art because I think that's really one of the big draws of this series for me. Uh, and yeah, here you can see Tony Stark in New York. We have the Krakoan tree base of the X-Men in the background, talking to Cersei. Now, Cersei is one of the Eternals, as I mentioned, and the Avengers are finally taking up the lead and stepping up because they know something is amiss. Like something's been happening that they're not fully aware of. It's interesting because in this event, the Avengers are kind of like caught in the middle. They only care about protecting Earth. They don't care about this conflict, about the Eternals mission, about what the X-Men have been doing. They're keeping an eye on everything, but it feels like at this point things are spiraling out of their control. So they're finally stepping up to try to do something. Then we go to Krakoa, where the X-Men are aware that. Actually, sorry, this is in New York, the treehouse, where people, now that they've discovered the secret of immortality, are mad and jealous at the X-Men that they're not sharing this gift. Now they tried to explain that they can't really share the gift, that only mutants can be put through the resurrection protocols, but people don't really care about that. And the X-Men are kind of suffering the consequences of that as well. Then we go to Krakoa, and I just love the way that Valerio and the team can make all this look so cool. Like every little place is different, and there are some more pages that I won't show because they contain massive spoilers that just blew my mind. So yeah, then we're here at Krakoa, alerting the mutants in Arakko and the Quiet Council. So as you can see, Arakko is the newly reformed, terraformed Mars, where the mutants of Arakko have made their home. And then finally, we see here Olympia, where Druig, the Prime Eternal, is getting permission pretty much to go to war against everyone. One of the big players in this book that I was not aware that it was going to be such a huge part was Uranos the Undying. He, man, let me just tell you, plays a really big role in this story. And yeah, like I mentioned before, this book is it looks great. It is just a fantastic looking book, but also it's full of that like one of the big part I read comic books is to get all these like super bombastic stories that are just like full of nonsense and things that you're like, wait, how does that work, right? But it doesn't matter. It's comic books, and although 99% of things make sense, there's still always going to be that one little thing that you're like, wait, what just happened, right? And this book is full of that. This book is oversized as well, so really, really big opening gambit for this event. So highly recommend you check that out. I can't wait for the next issue. I can't wait to read the tie-ins. This time around, I'm actually very excited about tie-ins, and let's go take a look at the checklist now. So this book requires, I mean, it doesn't require, but it will have a lot of reading. As we talked about this month, we have Eve of Judgment, which is the pre-opening comic I mentioned at the beginning. We have Day of Judgment Day, which is this issue. I would definitely recommend reading anything written by Kieron Gillen as far as tie-ins. So that would include Immortal X-Men. Also, X-Men Red has been amazing. There are big consequences for Arakko in this issue, so I would also recommend you picking that issue up. And then also the little tie-in series like Death to Mutants. That's a series, or that's a mini series just specific for this event. As you can see, it's only going to be 2 issues. And then for the rest of the stuff, I would say maybe the X-Men stuff. Like, it's kind of pick your poison there. I think once we are done with the event, I'll go back and make a list that will kind of rank these things. Like, is this required reading? Is this not required reading? Like, how much of it, how deep to dive into? Because we've done that in the past for some other events. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that good stuff here. I am so excited about Judgment Day, and I can't wait to keep reading. So, as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.